Okay. Well, happy Saturday evening, everybody. Congratulations to those of you who are going out tonight, who went out tonight, who are out tonight right now. Well, we just saw some history. I don't know that it counts because it's a preseason game and it's not real basketball. It is fake basketball. But the Knicks, in their 75-year history, as it were, or 74-year history, have never taken more than 51 threes in a game until tonight, when they just took 52, thanks to Quentin Grimes, made a late three-pointer with, I guess, under 30 seconds left. To give them 24 made threes on the night on 52 attempts. The only time that the Knicks have ever taken more than 50 attempts previously was in 2017 in a 4 overtime game against Atlanta. Their previous record for most in a regulation game was 47. So all this is to say it's preseason, guys were firing away. But at the same time, I think it's notable that, I wrote about this a few weeks ago. Derrick Rose has a funny way of letting stuff slip out in media interviews. And he said a specific number. He said, we want to shoot between 37 and 43s this year. Last season, the Knicks were fourth from the bottom in the NBA in threes attempted. They only shot about 30 a game. They have a ways to go to get into the top 10. I also wrote about how I think that would be notable because this team is stocked with good three-point shooters. And if they could figure out a way to get into the top 10 or even the top 12 in threes per game, I think that would bode really well for their offense. So good sign tonight that they are apparently putting their money where their mouth is. Thank you for our first Super Chat contribution to Harry Donor. Harry is he contributes, never asks a question. You're the man, Harry. Thank you so much. Look, if you're sitting there and we've now watched 96 minutes of basketball that does not count, and you are feeling like, man, I feel really good about this team, probably too good about this team. They have played 2 games against one team that is a mediocre Eastern Conference team, another team tonight that is maybe a mediocre Eastern Conference team, probably not, probably less than a mediocre Eastern Conference team. Granted, they played tonight without their best player. And if you're sitting there and you're like, man, I'm starting to get really excited, and the Kool-Aid is starting to go down really easy, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. It's hard not to get a little excited. I was texting before with my good friend and transplanted New Yorker, current Californian, David Futternick, about the last time we felt this excited about a team. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this. And we both said it's really the only team that comes close is the 2010-11 team, because we had just gotten Amare and you had the young players on the team. Wilson Chandler was still there. Danilo Gallinari. I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple other guys. And there was just this feeling like, man, who knows what's going to happen with this team? And when watching them right now, it kind of feels like, I don't want to say where's the ceiling, because I think we know what the ceiling is. If you don't have a true superstar in the NBA, you kind of know what your ceiling is. But as far as what this team could do and how good they could be this year, I think it's perfectly fair after 2 preseason games to actively wonder, what is this team? Maybe they're going to screw around and be a team that's going to be considered a top 10 team all year long. I don't know that I'm ready to say that quite yet, because again, point guards are older. That's really it. The point guards are older. I don't really that's the thing, is this team doesn't have a lot of obvious weak spots. They could shoot it. They can move the ball. They have guys that can create shots if need be. And boy, they defend. I know they've got worse defensively with Walker is a downgrade defensively. I get that. And Fournier is, he's okay. He's fine. They don't have Mitch right now. Noel, major step up. They were whatever they were, 24th in offense last year. Again, it's only 2 games, and we'll get into the specifics in a bit. But just looking at how this team is going about their business, it sure feels like they're going to screw around and be at least a top half of the league offense, top 15. Now, where we start to have notions and get into some silliness is if we're like, well, what if they're a top 12 offense? What if they're a top 10 offense? And they're a top 5, 6, 7 defense. Then we could start to really get crazy. But we're not there yet. It's 2 fake games. Let's hit up the super chat first, and then we'll get into some of the specifics of tonight because I feel like there's a lot to talk about. Daniel Chang, Macri, this has been beautiful basketball. Very beautiful basketball. Agreed. The chemistry is incredible. Young talent and savvy vets. Stifling defense. Top 3 in the East. Man, again, I don't. For me to sit here and be like they're going to be top 3 in the East, I don't know that. But I wrote the other day. I think they're going to be a top 6 team. And I think there's an argument that maybe the top 10 out of the top 10 teams in the league, I think you could argue that 6 of them are going to be in the East. Just the East it might be stacked. I don't know. I'm not putting any ceilings on this team though. I'll say that. My main man, Aussie Knicks fan. I must not overreact to preseason game against the Wizards, but damn, there are so many exciting, positive things about this Knicks team. Again, you're paraphrasing what I said. I couldn't agree more. It's nice to have a team with a plan on both ends of the court. Last season's team had a plan on defense, and on offense they had a plan sometimes. But there were also so many of those possessions that were just like left you shaking your head. This team has some work to do on offense. They had a lot of turnovers tonight, and that was really the only fault I could find. A couple of possessions where I wouldn't call them high quality looks, but by the same token, it's like this is the brand of basketball that we've been wanting this team to play for years. It's the brand of basketball that we see the rest of the league play, and we've been asking ourselves, why aren't we playing that way? And now they're kind of playing that way. Everything at the rim or behind the arc, it's just, it's kind of what you want, and they have the personnel to execute it, which is what makes it really exciting. Kevin Danishevsky, do you remember the Milwaukee game when the Knicks almost lost to that team's D squad? I do remember very well. The one game Randall missed last year. No more. I'm pumped. That's a fantastic comment from Kevin. A fantastic comment. I would actually argue. Make sure I'm not forgetting something. But I'm sure I'm forgetting something. As I sit here and I try to recall back last season now, that game against the Bucks, I think was the worst they looked all year. And maybe I'm sure I'm forgetting maybe a game early in the season. They lost to the Cavs early on when they were pretty healthy. Maybe 1 or 2 others, but like that Bucks game was as ugly as it got, and they probably should have lost that game. And they eked it out, thank goodness. But like just to prove Kevin's point, to look at where that team was then and to look at where the team is now, and it's not a comparison. So kudos to the front office. I don't know that they're going to get the respect that they deserve for the offseason that they had, but they sure deserve a lot of kudos for putting this team together and really not sacrificing any flexibility as far as I'm concerned. And they still have all their ammo for. Who knows what? We'll see. Stars, a.k.a. Brooklyn, play the rookies more, please. Need a cutlet, too. I think there's one cutlet in my fridge. I'm going to have probably a bowl of strawberry mini wheats after I'm done here. I'm going to try to be healthy. I had a good day today. When we went out for a family walk to Prospect Park, I think we walked 7 or 8 miles or something today. So I'm feeling good about myself. Got to try to keep the dad bod in check. So no cutlets tonight. It's gonna be a little cereal. As far as playing the rookies more, look, I am not going to be in the business of criticizing Tom Thibodeau until Tom Thibodeau gives me a real reason to criticize him. He knows how to get his team prepared for the season. And that matters. I'd love to see the rookies more too, but I think they believe in what they believe in practice. They believe in the preparation. They believe that what they're doing behind the scenes with the rookies is valuable. And they certainly believe that the summer league experience for the rookies was valuable. So I think they'll be fine. Kevin Danishevsky again on the negative side. Can Tibbs please stop playing Rose for the preseason? I get playing because he needs the rep, but McBride needs minutes and injury. Look, it was easily the scariest moment of the preseason was when Rose went down. Hopefully he's fine. I'm not on the post game tonight. I'm sure Tibbs is going to say whatever he's going to say. I would be frankly shocked if we saw Derrick Rose again this preseason. Maybe, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. Maybe we'll see him a little in game 3. Look, it's a fair comment. If like Derrick Rose, we don't even know right now, but if God forbid something happens and he's lost for 4 to 6 weeks, we're gonna be looking at this like, what the fuck are you doing? I get it, but at the same time, you can't coach scared. And I'm not saying there isn't a balance somewhere. There is a balance. There is a balance towards what do you need to do to have your team prepared. And again, to call myself out, I just said a minute ago that they believe in practice and they believe that practice is worthwhile and the whole thing. So thereby, why do you need to push these guys in games? And my comeback would be to myself would be nothing replicates game action. But again, there's a balance there. Do you need to play Derrick Rose 20-some-odd minutes? Do you need to play Taj Gibson? I mean, Taj Gibson had a great game tonight. Do you need to play him 20-odd minutes? Where would they be without Taj if Mitch starts out the season hurt? We'll talk about Jericho Sims. But it's a fair comment. People got on me last year because I was a Tibbs apologist. I'm going to be a Tibbs apologist again. The man won the Coach of the Year award. He righted the ship. He deserves a little bit of leeway. I'm going to give him that leeway until he makes it obvious to me that he no longer deserves it. So fair comment, but I'll give a little pushback. Be ready today. Thank you so much for your contribution to the Super Chat. Again, you guys, with the preseason, it's not even real games yet. You guys are overly generous. Thank you so much. If Walker and Rose stay healthy and Mitch comes in at least 75%, whatever that means, it looks like a number 4 seed. If Walker and Rose stay healthy for the whole season, and I'm going to say that means they each play over 70 games. If Mitch plays, I think they're not going to put Mitch back in unless Mitch is 100%. So does Mitch play 80% of the games, 85% of the games? If they get Mitch, and Mitch is Mitch, and again, we saw Mitch depart last season, arguably right after he had played his best game. Oh, shit. I mean, I don't know what's going on in Philly. Nobody knows what's going on in Philly. I think as long as Embiid is healthy, even without Simmons, Philly is better than us. I'm sure I'm going to get some pushback on that, and I totally understand that. I still have Philly ahead of us. But as far as look, Miami obviously went out and got Lowry. They have Butler. They have Bam. They have a good team. If our point guards stay healthy and we bring this team and Mitch is there and the whole thing, like, why is Miami? Maybe they have a higher ceiling than us. Zach Lowe has talked about this a lot recently on his pods. I'm not prepared to say that Miami is a better regular season team than us. I'm certainly not prepared to say Atlanta is a better regular season team. They might be. They might be. But again, that's why I'm like 4, 5, 6, somewhere in that range. Boston, again, deserves to be in the conversation. I don't think 4 is crazy at all. But even anyone who wants to say, like, if this team stays healthy, they could be a 3 seed, I don't think that's nuts. I don't see a whole lot of weak spots. Here's their weak spots. their weak spots are when they face a team that is really engaged. I just got a text from Spencer Perlman that I'm not going to read. And Spencer, go back to enjoying life, wedded bliss. Shout out to you, Spencer. We love you here. Anyway, I digress. If they face a team that is really engaged defensively, the Knicks, every other game, or probably more than every other game, are not going to have the best guy on the floor. And in the NBA, for as long as we can remember, if you got two teams that are really going after it and really playing hard, usually the team with the best guy wins. And we're not going to have the best guy most nights. So, but again, this is regular season basketball we're talking about. So I don't know where to put the ceiling. Obviously, I'm excited after tonight, but and again, we've been talking for a while. Haven't even gotten into any of the specifics tonight, which we will get to in a bit. A couple more super chats first. Dan Hidalgo, J-Mac, can a team be too deep? No. No, not with injuries the way they are in the NBA today. Not with COVID still, a thing. Before I even read the rest of the comment, I love that this team, look, if they stay healthy and we go through an entire season with Quickly and Grimes and Knox and Taj, I guess, not really getting a lot of time, that's fine. That's okay. I'm not prepared to be there's some kind of egregious organizational malpractice going on here. If Deuce McBride only plays 500 minutes this year, 400 minutes this year, whatever it is, Grimes too. I think they've earned this organization. Maybe this is a bit premature of me, but I think this organization has earned the right of the benefit of the doubt that they know what they're doing in developing their prospects and whatnot. Your boy Toppin finally got some run. Do you think Tibbs expands his rotation beyond 5 guys with a 6-man cameo? No, I think he's going to run 10 deep. I think he's going to run a true 10-man rotation. I think all 10 guys are going to play. I think Obi probably is still going to play the fewest minutes of the 10 men. That said, Tom Thibodeau's thoughts on Obi Toppin's start tonight, courtesy of Fred Katz. Shout out to Fred. Really good. Pointed out his defense specifically, went for 13 points and 8 boards. I love that Tibbs points out Toppin's defense in the postgame, because as I was watching the game and I was recording on MSG Go, so it was a little bit of a tape delay situation. So I was going back and trying to watch Toppin's defense throughout the night. And it's as good a place to start on any specific player because obviously he filled in for Julius Randle. I thought Toppin, for a guy that if you would have said before the draft, Obi Toppin is going to be able to be a league average defender at the 4. I feel like, what would he have been in the draft? Would he have been the 3rd pick in the draft? Would he have been the 4th? Probably 4th, 5th pick in the draft. He fell to 8. He sure strikes me as a guy who looks like he's going to be a league average defender. The anticipation is there. The positioning is there. The effort is certainly there. Foot speed. I know we talked all preseason or all pre-draft about, he's got high hips, his high center of gravity, right? I think he's navigating it well. I mean, he had a couple of really nice blocks tonight on a guy that's, I know Harold doesn't exactly have the most vertical lift, but I just, when a guy looks like he could hold his own defensively, and when a guy looks like he can't hold his own defensively. And we'll talk about Knox in a bit. And Knox I'm happy for the kid. He hit some shots. I don't know what's going to come of it, but you watch Kevin Knox on defense tonight, and the unfortunate truth is that, Kevin Knox in year 4, I still don't think he's an NBA defender. Obi Toppin looks like an NBA defender. I don't know if he's, again, Tibbs specifically called out a few weeks ago that the reason he's not playing more small lineups with Obi Toppin and Julius Randle together is because he's concerned about the rim protection. Am I prepared to say Obi Toppin could play small ball 5? No, I'm not prepared to say that. But in little stints here and there, yeah, I'd like to see it. So getting back to the question, what does the rotation look like? How many minutes are guys playing? I hope, and this is where I'll push back again against myself. I hope Tibbs extends past his comfort zone this year. And, Kemba and Rose put aside and like the center position put aside. But for everybody else, go out there and play Emmanuel quickly 20 some odd minutes. Go play, let Obi Toppin play close to 20 minutes or God forbid over 20 minutes. These guys deserve that time. If anything, I'd rather see Alec Burks be the guy who's like kind of the 10th man in the rotation. That may seem crazy. If Mitch comes back and he's healthy, maybe it's Noel, but look, they're deep. They're deep. It's a good situation. Tibbs said of Derrick Rose, just bumps and bruises. He'll be fine. Of course, Tibbs says he'll be fine. All right, let's get back to the Super Chats. I've been rambling a lot. Mensa Smith, one thing we're underrating is the stability in what is still a pandemic. Everyone is vaccinated. Everyone is bought in, and we're 10 deep, 3 seed. I love it. I love the confidence, Mensa. To me, and again, should be no surprise to anybody who's listened to me for a while. The buy-in, I don't know even what his stat line was tonight. Quite frankly, I don't care what his stat line was tonight. Kemba Walker, has had, let's politely say, some injury issues over the last few years. For that dude, and I know this is Kemba, right? But I'll tie this together in a second. For him to take a charge in a game that doesn't count. Now, is Kemba doing that because he's on the Knicks, or is Kemba doing that because he's Kemba? Here's the best part. I don't really care. My gut feeling is to say he's doing it because he's Kemba. But again, was it a perfect situation? Hometown kid, buyout, whatever the case may be, opportunity for him to start? Yes. But they brought in that dude. They brought in Kemba Walker. And it's not just they brought in a talented guy. I couldn't help but think to myself watching the beginning of this game when Spencer Dinwiddie, and throughout the night really was going after Kemba. Like, man, Dinwiddie's trying to show him up. Dinwiddie's trying to tell him, you should have given me that third guaranteed year. And I look, if they had given it to him, would he be a Knick today? I don't know. But they have a type. They have a type, and that's good because you're right. Everybody does buy in, and I think it shows in their draft picks. I think it shows in their signings. I think it shows in who they brought back. Actually, I shouldn't say that because that's I don't want that to be taken as a shot at Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock's fucking awesome, and I think that was just about they didn't want to give him a third guaranteed year. But no, I love it. Anthony Sixto, Taj found a small fountain of youth this offseason. Man, don't say that. Taj never lost. Taj has never left. He has always been young at heart. Really looked focused in the post. You think he's feeling he needs to earn some minutes back with Mitch? No, look, Taj is I hate to parrot Tibbs here, who again I drink the Tibbs Kool-Aid by the gallon. Taj is just going to do whatever you ask him to do, and Tibbs nails it when he says things like, if he starts for you and plays 35 minutes, he's going to be fine. If he rides the bench for 5 straight games, he's going to be fine. He's going to be the same teammate. He's going to prepare the same. He's going to be the same leader. He's going to be the same veteran. And again, I could somewhat attest to this because for the season that I actually covered the team live, just going in the locker room, there was something about that dude. He's a special guy. He's a special guy, and I don't know whether he wants to coach after he retires. I don't know whether he wants to be in the front office after he retires, but I don't ever want Taj Gibson to leave the New York Knicks organization because there's a reason that he is my favorite current Knick, and long live Taj. That's all I'm going to say. Jason M., beautiful basketball. Just think how this team's offense was last year without Randall night and day. Completely agree. Add Fournier, Kemba, and the improvements from Obi and IQ. Yeah, so let's talk about some other guys. I thought Fournier is going to have off nights. Kemba's going to have off nights. I should probably actually look up what their stats were tonight as I'm rambling on. It's the fear factor. Teams played the Knicks last season, and there wasn't much of a fear. Fournier, 3 for 9, but 14 points. because I would imagine he got to the free throw line a lot. Yeah, 6 for 6 from the line. Kemba Walker, 2 of 7, shot all but one shot from 3, 6 points. And then we talked about Obi a little bit. His defense, not a bad offensive night either. Had some nice moments. 8 rebounds. I like to see that. The beautiful dunk. He's just a good passer too. He's just a smart, heady player. And Quickly only had 3 assists tonight, so you can add that to the 7 assists he had in game 1 of the preseason. You want me to be all in on someone? It's funny because Andrew Claudio, the esteemed producer of Knicks Film School, gets on me because I drive the Obi bandwagon. I think I'm higher on Quickly. I think I'm higher on Quickly's ceiling. I think I'm higher on Quickly as a guy who has the potential to be on the floor for 25 minutes of a game 7 of, whatever playoff series. I think Quickly has that in him. I don't know if it's as a point guard. I don't know who he needs to be on the floor with, but that dude is just, and it's the subtle little things. There was a play towards the end of the game where he drove and did like a wraparound whip out pass to the 3-point line, and somebody shot a 3, and I don't even know if it went in. I don't care, because that's a play that I don't remember him making a whole lot last year. And we're seeing these subtle little signs from Emmanuel Quickly in this preseason so far, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Because my God, and I wrote about it this week in the Knicks Film School newsletter. No one said he doesn't need to be Chris Paul. He doesn't need to be, who are your more traditional, point guards in the league. He doesn't need to be that. He needs to be able to do certain things, because if he could shoot, like he sure shit seems like he's gonna be able to shoot as a pro. And obviously the floater is a huge component to that too. And then just make these basic reads and make these basic passes. Like, you could play 25 minutes for any team in the league. And he could certainly play for this team. Again, he's a second-year guy. I'm so excited to see what we get from him moving forward. And I'm very, very high on Emmanuel Quickly. I'll say that. Okay, we're going to keep catching up on the Super Chat. You guys are it's insanity here. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Zolo J, do you think preseason wins say more about coaching or the players coming in ready and having chemistry? Both. Because if the players are coming in ready and they have chemistry, then the coaching is right. Then the coaching is good. I think it's just that they prepare. Fournier had a clip last week, I think, beginning of last week maybe, where he talked about they're not fucking around here. Tibbs is an old school coach, and this is serious. Again, it goes part and parcel with Derrick Rose playing 20 minutes tonight, or whatever he did. They prepare so that on day 1 they're ready to win basketball games. And Tibbs won't tolerate anything else. I think it all goes together, but obviously you need the buy-in. I just saw your comment, Andrew. CT Pittman, patron saint of the Knicks Film School YouTube live streams. Good showing tonight. My only concern is Tibbs giving some of our guys too much burn. Don't want any injuries before the regular season. So we'll say exactly what it was. Okay. Most minutes tonight, RJ Barrett, 31. Spoiler alert, I'm predicting, I don't think I put this in my predictions column, but RJ Barrett will lead the league in minutes this year. How you doing? Kemba Walker, 21 minutes. Derrick Rose, 19 minutes. Toppin, he's a kid, 28, who cares? Taj, 22. Fournier, 25. Burks, 23. And everybody else is young. So, look, again, it's a matter of how important do you think these minutes are to prepare adequately for game 1? And again, to go along with that, how important is it to be super, super, super ready for game 1? In Tibbs I trust. If you don't, I'm sympathetic. The Flying Machine Collective. Really looking forward to playing one of these 4 to 6 seed type teams. Less defense, more offense. Clearly this year, we're going to need to gut wins out. They got out of a lot of wins last year. I think they'll still play close games. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they had more blowouts. I feel like the team didn't have a ton of blowouts last year. I know we had a few. Not any blowouts against decent teams, or maybe a few, but I'm not remembering a lot. Look, opening night, Boston, that's a home game. Go out and win that fucking game. Just go out and win that game. Everybody's saying Boston's going to be better than you. They were a 7 seed last year. You were a 4 seed. The only improvement they made of note is a point guard that the Knicks could have had if they wanted. Didn't want him. And we have their point guard from last year. Go beat Boston. That's like, you never want to say game 1 is a huge game, and it's not a huge game, but go win that game. I think that's important. I'm excited for it. Greg Film Stuff, welcome back to the Super Chat. My boy Jay, LOL. Randall doesn't have to kill himself this year. I don't think Randall has to kill himself this year. Obi almost made me tear up versus Indy with the crossover spin move and score. And we legit have a bench unit where you lose nothing when the starters are out, top 5. Everybody's kind of saying the same thing. They're deep. Obi, I think, is playing with confidence. Quickly always played with confidence. RJ, we haven't talked about RJ Barrett tonight. So who was RJ their leading scorer? RJ Barrett was their leading scorer with 18 points on 12 shots. So that's so funny. RJ Barrett ended up with 18 points on 12 shots. And if you watch the game, you would not necessarily think that RJ had the best game. And the reason for that is how many turnovers did he end up with? Did he get any in the second half? He had 5 turnovers. And because he was trying some stuff out in the first half. And I actually love the fact that he had the turnovers that he had, especially the ones in the first half, because I liked the idea behind the moves that he was trying. It felt like he was attacking the rim at angles that looked pretty good, that were maybe a little bit switched up from some of the stuff he did last year. He got swiped. There were a couple of calls that he thought he should have gotten. He didn't get them. I don't really care. When I think about guys playing with confidence, and I'm not saying RJ didn't play with confidence last year. He did. But he just seems like a guy who completely trusts every facet of his game. Every single facet of his game. He ended up with 4 assists. The 3 ball, I mean, what can you say about the 3 ball other than that it's melted butter. It's melted butter that you just give me some lobster. What should we do with our lobster? What's the best side dish for lobster? That's my one complaint about lobster. What is the perfect side dish for lobster? Because lobster is so good that there is no perfect side dish. You can throw some corn, some fries, maybe do a little like mashed potatoes. Like it's lobster. Nothing goes, but like lobster stands on its own. In any case, he is the melted butter from 3 that you pour over the lobster or that you dip the lobster. That's how silky smooth his 3 is right now. He was 4 of 8 from deep, 4 of 6 from the line. I guess he missed his last 2, so I think he started 4 of 4. I just love his approach right now. And what I'm really happy about is it seems like he is, you might have thought with Kemba coming in, with Fournier coming in, that he was going to take a step back in the offense or be relegated to like a 3rd or 4th banana. I think he's going to be the number 2 guy. He was the number 2 guy last year. I think he's going to be the number 2 guy this year. And that's how it should be. Number 3 pick in the draft, 3rd year, he should be your number 2 guy. And that's no disrespect against Evan Fournier. That's no disrespect against Kemba Walker. RJ should be the number 3. And it seems like he is. So good for him. Sam Stavis, so happy to be back in the NBA. season with Knicks Film School and you, Macri. Thank you, Sam. Please talk about Quickly Barrett and Obi as the future. I've talked about them individually tonight. Collectively, talk about Knicks getting absolutely no respect on all these lists that come out. One place you won't ever see the Knicks appear is on any of these lists that rank the best young cores in the NBA, right? Because the Knicks don't have a young guy who projects as like a future MVP candidate or a future, multi-time All-NBA player or whatever it is. And that's just fucking nonsense. Because RJ Barrett in his own right should be part of that conversation. But like just RJ, Obi, and Quickly are three guys who are, 23, 21, and 21 years old, or maybe Quickly's 22, whatever they are. They're three kids. They played significant minutes for a playoff team that last year, and now they've gone, and they've worked on shit over the course of the summer, and they've come back, and they're clearly better. It's obvious. All three of them are better. And that's why, the one thing I want from this year is, and why I really hope we don't like the rumors don't start or anything. I want to watch this team this year. I don't want to talk about the rumors, and I don't want to talk about trading any of these kids for stars. And I'm not naive enough to think that that's not going to be something that's in the cards one day, but they've really assembled themselves a nice little core. And I think they may have something with Grimes and McBride too. We haven't seen it yet, but I like both of them. So we'll see. I just saw, who is this? Alejandro Handro, the ball movement. That one ping, 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 ping with the OB3, best possession of the preseason. Loved it. Deepak Seshadri. Knox might have hit some shots, but he legitimately looks like a drunken gazelle out there. I haven't talked about Knox. So Knox, what did he end up? 4 for 6 from 3? I don't even know. 4 for 6 from 3. Good guess. I don't like Tibbs is not – he's not going to put Knox out there if this is how he plays defense. And I'm not even saying his defense is bad, but Tibbs is not going to put anyone out there on defense that he doesn't trust completely and totally. And Knox had, a couple of moments out there tonight where there was one moment where it was a semi-transition, not true transition, semi-transition. And the ball went into the paint and it pinged to the corner, I think, and then out. And then the guy that Knox was responsible for, it was Bertans, hit a wide open three. And Knox came down and he dug into the paint, right? Which is what you're supposed to do. You come down, if it's transition or semi-transition, you dig into the paint. That's what Thibodeau calls for, right? But you have to. It's not like there's an extra step in your mind that you have to make where it's like, okay, I'm in transition. I have to dig to make sure that there's no easy layup. But there needs to be an extra step where it's like, oh, wait a minute. I can't just commit fully to the paint. I have to kind of hedge a little bit and make sure if the ball pings around, I can get back out. And that's why one of the blocks that Obi had, I absolutely loved it because he was calling out assignments on the way down. His positioning was perfect because he had a hand on I think it was Harrell in the paint, but he was still ready to hop back out to his guy on the three-point line. And then the ball went down into Harrell, and he was perfectly positioned to be able to jump up and contest the shot, and he got the block. And again, it's a small thing, but that's a difference between a basket and not a basket. So, Tibbs is not going to bench guys. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that. Obi may not have hit 4 of 6 from deep, but that's not going to prevent Obi from getting playing time and give Knox playing time. Tibbs cares. He's a process guy. We know he's a process guy. And I just, look, I don't know what's going to happen with Knox, whether he has trade value or whatever, but we'll see. That's all. We'll see. Let's we got a couple more here, and then we'll finish up. I can't believe I'm talking preseason game, 40 minutes. What can you do? As my wife is here with our youngest. Hello, Dee.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
I see the child is awake.
She's awake.
Why do children not sleep? If you put a child in the place that they were supposed to go to sleep in, they should sleep until you tell them not.
There knows any sleep training tricks.
There are no tricks. There are no
DM
tricks.
me.
No, there are no tricks. We know there are no.
Any tricks? DM me.
What are you at D Kuzi back? Kevin Danishevsky, do you think Sims makes the team in the end? If not, who do you think gets the 15th spot? Sims is already signed to a two-way, and the league has carried over the very liberal two-way rules from last season, where two-way guys can basically play most of the year with the big club. So they're in a good spot with Sims. At some point, it will turn into a situation like it was with Alonso Trier a few years ago, where they had to convert him to a regular contract. But look, they're fine with Sims. They'll have Sims for as much as they need to. Hell, if they need to convert Sims to a regular contract, they can convert Sims to a regular contract. But that's why you have these two-way spots. So don't worry about Sims. He'll be fine. The 15th spot on the roster, I think, is interesting. Tibbs apparently did not. I wasn't on the pregame presser today, but he apparently didn't give Dwayne Bacon the most ringing endorsement. I don't know. I think it's be interesting if they keep it open. They can't acquire salary because they're over the cap. But you never know who shakes free. But they'll take someone into the year. Maybe it's Wayne Selden. I don't really think it matters. Sims is an NBA player. That's all you can say about Jericho Sims. He's an NBA player. They got him with the 58th fucking pick in the draft. It was a nothing pick, and they got him. So good for him. Jeff Smith, thank you for your contribution to the Super Chat. We appreciate you. All right, we got some tips here. John Sal says Benadryl keeps kids asleep.
Is that legal?
Is that legal? What is legal? In Mexico, it's probably legal. We'll take a couple more comments and we get out of here. Heartstore Media would have liked to see Veldoza make the club. I would have liked to see Veldoza be healthy, but we really didn't need him after signing Kemba. Before we signed Kemba, he made sense. David Foote, Tibbs is keeping kosher. I don't even. That's great. David Foote, I love you, man. Asparagus, I don't know what that comment is. All right, there we go. I think we're done here. Thanks everybody for checking out the post-game live stream. If you're listening on your preferred podcast platform, don't forget, give us a rating, review. And if you're somehow missed the fact that we interviewed Jeff Van Gundy in the episode that dropped on Friday, go check that out because it was a really fun conversation. And Coach was just absolutely generous with his insights, with his opinions, and him being forthright and everything. Jeff Van Gundy's the fucking man. And we love him here at Knicks Film School. And yes, I see my producer extraordinaire, Andrew Claudio, just dropped a link to our Patreon in the chat. For anybody who's not on board with the Patreon, we are going to be doing a double episode, I think, this week, in which myself, Jeremy, Andrew, and Chris are going to be drafting all of the teams based on their win totals. And, of course, I will win. And can we place some money on that? And then I think next week – is it next week, Andrew, or is it the week after? At some point in the near future, we'll be doing a Patreon pod in which I talk about my 75 greatest players of all time. I am at the very last stages of putting together that list. Let me tell you, if anybody out there is sitting at home and on a Saturday night and being like, I know what I want to do right now. I want to rank or pick the 75 greatest players of all time. Here's my tip. Don't do it. Do not do it. It is an unhealthy exercise, and it will drive you fucking crazy. Because I have been engaging with this task for the last month, and oh my God. It's just impossible. It's just really impossible. It's been fun, but it's been hard and it's been impossible. But that being said, I look forward to sharing those thoughts with everybody again on our Patreon pod soon. And that's it. Everybody enjoy your Saturday, and we will see you with a brand new episode. Me and Jeremy dropping Monday at midnight or Sunday at midnight. Knicks are good. So nice to say that. Knicks are good. Take care.